March 22nd, 2019, Friday. I'm really not one that likes anyone that says, "I told you so," or "I knew it." Well, "I knew it" has some situations where it's actually very appropriate. Even "I told you so" can have that very slim margin of just like, "See, I told you you'd like it." Stuff like that. But really, again, for the most part, I don't like reveling in how I was right and somebody else is wrong and has managed to trap himself in a really bad situation. For the most part, I like to be like, "Alright, whatever. You think you're right." But I'm still human, and I also have my exceptions. So, I left Market America. It's getting close to about 3 months now. Hi, Olive. And since then, I've been able to get at least the occasional progress report about how things are going. And a progress report it has been. Well, it's a massive lack of progress, and me of a lot of regression happening there. Since I've left, one guy's moved to another team entirely. 2 people I know have left or are about to leave on the automation team. I know for a fact at least one person on the manual team, the lead of manual testing, is about to leave as well. Funny enough, 2 of them have been looking at Qualitest, where I am. And they'd be wonderful acquisitions for the company too if they did get hired. Anywho, I've heard that one other manual tester is probably going to leave. So there's all of that. So there's the fact that the automation team and whole QA department as a whole seems like it's about to implode on itself. Oh, but then there's hearing about what my manager has and has not done. Oh, it's worth me bringing up the emails I've gotten from my one coworker. It's something else. Alright, here we go. So, from the top, one of my former coworkers was working on API automation and doing a lot of data rows. At a certain point, my manager's like, we probably should be data driving them through SQL. I don't know why we haven't been doing it. Could it have something to do with the fact that you never let us have time to do it? Oh, and my coworker pointed out there was a bearded automation engineer that had suggested that for a really long time. He does wonder how he's doing. Manager's also really displeased with the one job that I was responsible for and how bad it was doing. Just ignore the fact that I had opened a JIRA ticket about what was wrong with it and it hadn't been fixed. There'll be more about that later on. Oh, and then my coworker got to have one major kick out of, oh, hey, you're wanting to jump up and down about us running, automation just for a certain business functional area. Yeah, I thought I was working on that, and then you asked me not to do it even though it was your idea in the first place. So, he had an idea. He questioned the idea, and then he wanted the idea all over again. Now, this was good enough for me to go, okay, I made a great decision. Whatever. Now, let's see. What else had this guy done? Yeah, there's confirmation that 2 lead manual people are going to leave soon. There was this really nice one today, which pretty much just, if I had a shadow of a doubt in my mind that it was the right decision, Because this really just showed that the man doesn't really have any damn sense, or at least doesn't pay attention to things that would make him look like a complete idiot. So, this grand vision that my former manager had, he was going to have my one coworker try to take up my mantle of everything that I had done, plus every other random screwball idea manager had. Manager was going to bring in somebody else. Used to be a developer, bring over one manual tester who was supposed to be doing automation this whole time, but it wasn't. He was going to replace the manual position with somebody that he knew. Another coworker was going to be doing mobile testing. 2 people were doing API. The newest person for the automation team was going to just be taking care of the framework. Not matching a build, even though, again, the automation team's been gutted and they really need people to look over builds. And not going to write any scripts, just maintain the framework. Which, no, that's not how that works. You can't have people to just maintain your framework. At a certain point, it doesn't do anything. And I'm certain that after 3 weeks, you'd be questioning why that is, even though it is his frickin' idea. My coworker could just see that, training this person, training the one manual tester to finally do automation, all that was not going to work. Oh, and then also apparently manual testers weren't going to be able to be peeled away easily anyway, because they were then going to start testing in dev without testing criteria, i.e. without being able to know what on earth they're actually testing for. That's not how testing works. And this is the fun part. This is the part where the man really shows that he's a moron. He proceeded to throw me under the bus for not transferring my framework knowledge and automation knowledge very well. And he's right. All I did was make an entire wiki page with UI collapses for the class names and the methods in them, and descriptions and examples for all of the key automation framework stuff. I only sent that link out to a couple of my coworkers a few times. I only worked on it for, let's say, a week or two. Let's say for a week at least. That's all I did. And it was only a good enough quality to where when my coworker just, how did he put it? Oh, you know more about on franchise. So, and about that bit about you, quote, failing to transfer your framework knowledge and how disappointed he was that you didn't do better at it, I decided I should succeed where you failed and gave him the most in-depth wiki on the framework methods ever created. I explained that I'd go through them in the knowledge transfer meetings, and he exclaimed proudly, This is what he was looking for, that he didn't get from you, and couldn't be more pleased with my work. This is excellent, Marcus, he said. All of this praise disregarding the fact that at the top of the wiki page, it clearly stated in great text, created by Nicholas Spitzer. Strange. For not documenting and transferring your knowledge of the framework, you should document and transfer your knowledge of the framework a lot. Idiot. Oh, and then on franchise not doing well, the site that I was responsible for. I ended off in a shoddy state. Don't take offense at that, though. He didn't know what he was talking about, and I mean that as literally as I could mean it. In the coming days, he came to find out that Jira ticket you opened that was causing you to skip and fail was still happening, and responding to that by having another of my coworkers code around it. I think it's obvious that wasn't going to work, but that's what he ordered the guy to do anyways. I can tell you the very basis of what was wrong, there was no way around it. I tried, and no, it was just broken. It was no way to get around it. Coworker said, quote, can't do it, and showed him the ticket. This is the third time he got shown the ticket. Manager finally told the devs to fix it, then turned back around and told yet another guy to code around it again. And after they burned a full day of trying to code around this thing, one of the devs got back to us and said, yeah, we reached out to the third-party guys. They fixed it. So now that I was going, the guy that would be the most experienced now would end up being the new him, and he'd go talk to manager about becoming, quote, the new automation lead. We never really had one for about 2 or 3 years or longer. Anyway, the coworker was disappointed in what he heard back because manager, although willing to give him a shot, wanted him to be, quote, passionate and motivated being in QA here at Market America. Coworker, possessing a functioning brain, knew that wasn't going to be a thing, so he's looking elsewhere. Finally, at the beginning of April, they'll bring in the one guy to take over the manual tester's position, move the one manual tester over to automation, and bring in somebody else, a person who can't read code and isn't technical. And of course, this person will be automation engineer because, per the manager's own words, anybody can write a script. And I really do want to quote my coworker from here, to which I'd like to provide this light rebuttal. To anyone that says that anyone can write a script implying my job responsibilities can just be handed off to any passerby on the street, fuck off. Not only can you fuck off, you need to fuck off from wherever you fuck off to, because the people there won't want to deal with you either. Fuck off twice. And then coworker threw a cherry on top. So this person that's going to be brought in to do the framework stuff was struggling on some of the coding challenges that he'd been given while gave the team to raise their coding skills. I thought it was strange and nowhere near on par with what you'd expect from a developer. Well, not until I found out, she doesn't know Java, which is what we wrote everything in. So this is the first she'd used Java then. Yeah, most of the knowledge transfer went a bit over her head because she's still trying to get the syntax down. Oh, and up until his last day, she was struggling to debug motives on the sites. But you said she wouldn't be assigned any build. Well, apparently plans changed after coworker left, and someone was going to have to take UF again. However, all this will be out of date once more after next coworker hands that in his 2-week notice. So I'll probably get another update from another coworker about how much worse it's gotten again. So if you're keeping score at home, let me count the math up for you. There's a guy who left before me. Get all this set up. There's a guy who left before me. Maybe like a few weeks before I left. I left. Probably the last guy that had joined before all of this moved to another department. This coworker who gave me all these stories has left. There's already 4 people that are gone. Another automation person's going to leave. 2 manual testers are going to leave. That's 7 people that are confirmed to be leaving. I'm going to write this down. So we're talking about 7 people leaving. So he mentioned framework person who can't maintain the framework. He had mentioned some guy that he's going to bring in to replace a manual tester, and a third person. I believe let me read over this again. And it's a third person he's going to bring in. So from, we'll say, mid to late November, early December, to, we'll say, mid-March right now already, we're at 5 people have left. 4 people have left. And it easily could be within another month, you could have 4 people leave. That's just by the number of people that are leaving. That doesn't take into account what's being lost and what has been lost. The guy left before and got moved to another team after me were really good future potential employees. I knew the framework forwards and backwards. The guy that has left alongside me also knew the framework pretty well and was a very good gopher mule for manager. And he just knew his stuff really well too. Guy that's about to leave, another one who seems to really know his stuff as well. He'd been there long enough and I had trained him. And trained guy that left too. The 2 manual testers, they're the leads. They know the system overall really, really well. This QA department is about to be gutted and be left with, some manual testers that pretty well know the system, but probably not quite as well, with the same leadership qualities and the same ability to work through hard stuff as the 2 manual people that are going to leave soon. Life lesson, people. Don't be a jerk. Don't be an asshole. Don't be rude. Don't run your employees into the ground. Because when people are really good, they can leave, and it won't affect them one bit. My manager apparently really wanted me to firebomb my bridges I had with him. I was gonna let them rot. But firebomb. Okay. I'm also doing well at my job. I'm getting used to the fact that I don't have to bum rush through 20 different things, and we can actually take our time to get stuff done. Checkmate, asshole. We win. You lose. Good luck trying to duct tape your team together. I will be smelling the burning duct tape down the road as your department continues to fall apart. Again, I'm not one for I told you so's, but I am not above. Sucks to be you.